first time, first meeting. Wow, great turnout. And so not everybody else feels left out. Who's owned from 0 to 5 years? And who's 5 to 10 year owners? And 10 to 20? Wow, over 20.
Maybe 10 to 20.
Wow, okay. Well, great to have all you. Good looking crowd. I feel like I'm hosting the Oscars with all these people in here, so I will not be doing a song and dance, just so you know. Again, I'd like to call the meeting to order. My name is Keith Parent. I'm the National Director of Operations for Daily Management and Vacatia. With me, I have Frank Utset serving on the board. I have Todd Frazier, your Regional VP of Operations. I have Justin Kieberlein. And many of you know Joe Gonzalez resigned last year, so Justin has been with us for 4 months now, so we're happy to have Justin as your general manager for the resort. Also, we have Clyde Gant. He serves on the finance team. Hannah Jones, your director of governance. And Michelle Duchamp, head of partner services. And sitting in the second row, we have Rob Pelliser, and he's from the customer care team. So I was at the meeting last year. Many of you may remember Craig Olson. He used to MC this and open the meetings. He has since retired and he was a big fisherman, so he's probably on the Atlantic Ocean now fishing or wrestling alligators in one of the lakes. So he's a big alligator hunter also. So we're happy that he's enjoying retirement. Last year we mentioned that Daily Management, who's the management company, and the Berkeley Group, who's the developer, were acquired by Vacatia. So now we are all under one umbrella. Daily Management and the Berkeley Group are subsidiaries of Vacatia. And we've had several system upgrades. Last year was a challenging year for us. And with all the system upgrades and the new staff and Vacatia learning the properties, learning the employees, it was a busy year and a challenging year. And we do know that 2026, we'll get all the kinks out and everything will be smooth. We'll be back to normal. We know that the budgets went out a little later and some of the invoices, so we apologize for that. And we promise that'll get better in 2026. Let's see, also, just some housekeeping. Notice that this meeting was mailed in accordance with association governance documents and state statutes. So now I'll turn it over to Hannah Jones, and she's going to provide us with the quorum certification.
Oh, let's move out of the light there. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Again, my name is Hannah Jones. I'm the Director of Association Governance. It's a pleasure meeting all of you during sign-in. Thank you for your patience. I know you had to wait a little bit. Quorum requirement for this meeting is 10% of voting interest of all members other than the developer. So in attendance today, either in person or by proxy, is 2,166.5 voting interest, which represents 2.77% of those eligible voting interests. Sorry, thank you. Therefore, we did not meet quorum for today's meeting, so we won't be able to conduct any official association business, including the approval of prior minutes or the election of directors. However, we have a lot of great information to share with you today, so we're still going to continue through the agenda, and I will serve as acting secretary for today's meeting, and we'll keep a record of all of the topics discussed so that we have them in the association records. We'll also hold a Q&A at the end of the meeting. We would ask, just so we can get to all of the questions to each owner, keep it to 2 minutes, and then if we can do a second round if necessary. So I think right now we'll go ahead and hand it over to Justin, who's going to work his way through this management's report.
Thank you, Hannah. So first off, I want to introduce myself, Justin Kieberlein. I've been here, like they said, for 4 months, so still getting to know the property, getting to know the team and all of you, but looking forward to meet you all as we continue here. I do want to introduce my team also. Some of these folks you've probably seen around before as they've been with us for a long time. Others are also very new. So standing right here up against the door is Alexandra. She's our assistant general manager, and she's been with us for 2 months, right? Next to her is Patrick. He's in charge of security and LP, and Patrick's been here forever, so you've probably seen him before.
Hello, everyone.
In the way back, trying to hide, in a white shirt, that is Ray Gonzalez. He is our chief engineer in charge of the buildings and everything to make sure that it's working around property. To his left is Bonnie. She is our evening manager, so you'll see her here a lot at night, kind of taking care of the resort in the PM hours. To her left is our regional HR partner, Kay. She oversees the 3 properties here in Vegas. And then to the left of her is Elliot, and he is in charge of laundry, QA, and most things housekeeping. And we've added some things to housekeeping onto his team, and we'll get to that here in a second. And if you don't mind. So just kind of like real quick high-level overview, and there's also some of this in your packet as well in more detail. But you know, we are continuing to try and strengthen our position as a premier resort in Las Vegas and throughout the country. So doing a lot of new and exciting things and trying to add a really good leadership team and add some more positions to try and strengthen us for the future. As I mentioned, transformation of leadership. Everyone that you've seen around property here, we're adding a new activities manager. Who starts in a few weeks, looking to add in some F&B and things like that to try and really, you know, kind of enhance some of our offerings and make a stronger team. And then, you know, as kind of mentioned before, we are working through a new property management system. So we introduced cloud beds, which I'm sure, you know, some of you have kind of seen some of the text messages and things like that. At times, probably got way too many text messages. So, you know, we're trying to work out the kinks and trying to get that in a better situation so it's more streamlined, easier for check-in, pre-registration. We have more information and can make sure everyone's their arrival and stay just more enjoyable from our property management system. So just a few maintenance highlights and some of the things that we have working on, and upcoming. So elevator system upgrades. Elevators have undoubtedly been a challenge at this property. I've experienced it in the 4 months here, and I know previously it has been also. As of a few months ago, we had all elevators working in the property. That's happened for the first time in a while, from my understanding. We do still have some hiccups here and there, and we are working to address that with some different modernizations and then some preventative maintenance programs to ensure that those stay up, they stay working, and they're efficient for you. Hot water tank replacements. Hot water has been an issue here and there, speaking with Ray in the past. So we've made a conscious effort to replace some of the hot water tanks, to make sure those are working properly, along with some boiler refurbishments to make sure that hot water is not an issue moving forward, and that we get ahead of that. Landscaping enhancements, you've seen maybe a little bit coming, just a big cleanup of the property right now, just you're making it look more maintained, tighter, cleaner, things like that. We're working on some more labor from our landscaping company and then from our team as well to make sure the property looks great from a landscaping perspective, but also from a trash and just things that you see around and just grounds in general. And then infrastructure improvements and pipe cleaning. Plumbing has also been a little bit of an issue. As the buildings are getting older, we're seeing some plumbing issues. So currently we have an ongoing project right now in Building 4. They're hitting about 40 rooms a week to make sure we clean that up, put in new piping where needed, just make sure everything's working the way it should be, so you're getting everything that you expect and that we expect you to have when you check in. Some just operational maintenance changes and focuses for 2026. So we did start a pretty in-depth preventative maintenance program, and all the things that you might not see, but we obviously need to deliver a product. So cooling towers, which is what we use for our air conditioning units. So those are being replaced. 2 of them are being replaced in 2026. But also preventative maintenance program, more enhanced, checking them more often as the buildings start to age to make sure that we get our useful life out of them, that they're working properly and functioning to the standard they should be, along with elevators and fire systems and rooms and pretty much anything you can think of on property is now getting put into more of a detailed program so that we check and maintain our asset. Increased maintenance staffing, so Ray has had a couple extra folks added to his team this year just to try and help with some of the additional occupancy, some of the additional building issues as we see the buildings getting older, and to achieve some of these programs that we're trying to put in place so the units continue to improve. And then a unit blitz program, which just started about 3 weeks ago. So this is a very detailed program to have engineers get into units, 80% of the units a week, over and over and over again to check for any issues, lights, TVs, ACs, refrigerators, things like that. Common issues, things that we expect to work every time that you arrive. That's been a huge focus because we've seen some misses in that area recently. So we're really focusing on upping our game as far as how the rooms are when you walk in. So some upcoming projects, we mentioned a few of them earlier, but pool and infrastructure upgrades to the pool. So we are going to be getting some new pool plaster, some different coping, things like that, just to kind of keep those at a level that we expect them, enhance them. Starting with the quiet pool by building 9 and then working our way across property. So that's in the plans for 2026 and being scheduled as we speak. Cooling tower replacements, I mentioned we're going to be doing 2 cooling towers this year to make sure that those are in good working order. We are looking at the installation of guard gates when you come into the main entrance on the property, and then also on the back side of the property, just to make sure that everyone who's parking on site belongs here, everyone has a parking pass, everyone who's checking in, a security measure, but then also for us to help control the parking. New bell carts, which are being ordered next week. So some of the bell carts are a little worn down. So all brand new bell carts, and then increased bell carts in each building, just to make sure that everyone has what they need when checking in, so they can make that a smooth process and not have to carry luggage. We are currently in the process of working on a TV, internet, and phone infrastructure upgrade. So you'll see a different TV system in your units starting in a few months here, more of a guide channel, just more of what we're used to this day and age from a TV perspective, and then also to help with some of the phone issues throughout the resort, but specifically when you have, calling into the front desk, and then just a new phone in the room as well. And then unit redesign and planning is currently in the works. Don't have a huge update on that yet, other than to share that it is top of mind. We have seen some initial renderings and are putting together some ideas of how we want to go about refreshing the units and just making it a better experience that we can expect from a unit moving forward through the next decade. Guest experience. So as I mentioned earlier, we hired an activities manager. So we are looking to add some activities specifically at the pool in the summertime, during spring break, things like that. Some of the photos there, we have started doing a lobby kind of welcome enhancement over the weekend, some of the busy days, offering some popcorn, cookies, waters, things for the kids when we know we have a busy line on Fridays, and then just kind of throughout the day just to make it a better experience for check-in, and to thank everyone for joining us and coming on their vacation. We are looking at exploring more F&B options throughout the pool areas, throughout the property in general, just as there's more offerings on site from grab and go, more coffee, just the items that you need or did plan for on a vacation, and then with a food and beverage experience as well. And then just continue to enhance the lobby, enhance the check-in, just make it ease of when you arrive, just helping you get on vacation a bit sooner. Along with this, we continue to partner with South Point. I don't know if any of you have seen, but currently they are offering a vacation cocktail over at the Grandview Lounge, the bar when you first walk in there to the left. So there are specific cocktails that they make for us. The list is at the front desk. If you want to check it out, the front desk associates have a list and can show you what they're offering over there, along with the fun book. So make sure you get your fun book when you check in. That has a ton of coupons to Don Vito's, the Italian restaurant, to a few of the bars, to some free play, to some different cocktails. I believe there's a margarita in there. So a lot of different options on things you can do and explore at South Point as we continue to strengthen that relationship with them. They've been a fantastic partner. We want to continue to keep offering the opportunity to go over there and experience that and enjoy some of the things that they have that we just don't offer at this time. Owner services. So owner services, so Grandview did maintain its RCI Gold Crown for 2025, which is great news. There is a new phone system, which I will lean on a few other folks on more details, but that just went live today. So hopefully the logging system and the wait is something that we are very aware of, so that is being addressed. We've increased staffing to help make some callbacks, to answer phone calls, to help answer questions. We have seen an increase in bugs and questions over the past 6 months, which is expected. So we are, putting some more people through that, and then also with some of these improvements, helping us, kind of understand what the questions are, be able to communicate better, and answer those questions more quickly. So it's a better experience for everybody. So safety and security is obviously a big focus, not only for our team members, but for our guests as well. We want everyone to feel like they're safe when they're on property with us, that the property has a solid security team and security program. So we have done things like increase security over the weekends when we know we're busy, to help with traffic and registration, to oversee the pools. So pool safety enhancements, we've added some security throughout the pools during spring break. That'll continue over the summer just because we know that's a busy area, just to make sure that everyone's aware that there's help there if they need it. New entrance lighting has been added on some of the palm trees, and we continue to find ways to brighten up the property from on the buildings to just through the landscaping, things like that, just to make it more safe and more well lit. Pool and grill access, if you notice over by where the restaurant, fitness center are now, there's 3 or 4 grills over there. We have added locked gates that we leave open during the day because there's a lot of traffic between sales in that area, but at night those are closed and do require a key card, so that's been a recent add in the last month or so, just to make sure we have a better security going into that pool area and that area in general. And then as I mentioned earlier, we are exploring adding some guard gates just to control the traffic throughout the property. Housekeeping and laundry. So this is Elliot's area back there, but we understand that housekeeping has been an issue in the past, and we're continuing to try and improve it. We understand we're not 100% there yet, but we are making some noticeable changes to try and help mitigate that effort and enhance our housekeeping abilities. So we have added a quality assurance team. So it's up to 10 members, and all these folks just started within the last month or two. But their job is all day long to go around and check rooms, check hallways, and check the property to make sure it's up to the standard that we expect. So right now on a Thursday, there's going to be about 9 of them there, and they all hit about 30 rooms a day. So they're going to go around and check about 270 units this morning and this afternoon to make sure that they're great when we arrive, check anything that needed to came back from a deep clean or things like that to make sure that we're getting everything out of the housekeeping that we possibly can, and to make sure that units are in great working order. We have had some leadership restructuring with moving Elliot over to some more folks to do some of these checks, along with our housekeeping partner, MasterCorp, has added some more leadership, so they have more eyes on some of their housekeepers and some of the things that we're doing, along with we are expecting a new executive housekeeper. They've had a change at the top of their leadership as well, so we are expecting that in the next few weeks to help lead their team into these standards that we expect. And then expanded staffing for housekeeping and laundry team. We have added a few more janitorials, a few more runners to get items to your rooms faster. Our goal is 15 minutes. We are working towards that. Some days it does take a bit longer, but we've added additional staffing over the last 2 or 3 weeks to try and help with some of those numbers and get those faster. And I will turn it over to Mr. Frazier to finish up.
Thank you. Thank you, Justin. Morning, everyone. As Keith mentioned, Craig's retirement, had a position available, and I was fortunate enough to support this team from a regional level. So I just want to talk to you a little bit about what Vacation is doing as a company from a regional perspective when it comes to supporting these resorts. What we've done is we've brought in folks like Petra. I'm sure many of you know Petra from her years as AGM here. She's now serving as the Las Vegas Facilities Manager, helping me align cost and look at savings across the board, not just for each property individually, but as a whole. So that's one thing we're working on, and making sure that everyone's paying a fair price and getting the best deal as a collective. Another thing that we've done this year is we've brought in regional support. We've brought in regional directors of engineering and regional directors of housekeeping. These are basically subject matter experts that come in and help coordinate our efforts as a company. I've got a couple of success stories, one of which occurred here at Grandview. We found out that our laundry cost, our outside laundry cost, was higher than our 2 sister properties. Biggest property versus the smallest property, we're still paying them more. That savings should net about $90,000 in savings this year alone, just for our outsourced laundry. So those are the things they're doing, aligning the teams, making sure that we're looking now as a whole, as Vacation, not just as Grandview and the other properties individually. Along with that, we're doing additional training for Ray and his team in engineering, making sure that they have all the training they need and are able to do a lot more in-house. We feel like if we can support the team from a level within, we don't have to depend so much on outside companies to come in and do that. So a lot of good stuff going on. They're going to have the support they need as a company, and specifically here at Grandview is one of our flagship properties for many years to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Todd. Now we'll turn it over to Clyde Gant, and he's going to give you your financial report. Can everybody hear us in the back, by the way? Okay, good. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. So yes, I'm going to give a brief overview of your financial statements. These numbers will be as of December 31st, the end of your fiscal year. The headline is that the association is in very good position financially. Closed the year with just over $68 million in total cash. $46 million of that was dedicated to your reserve fund, meaning that is set aside for the future enhancement and beautification of your property to ensure your long-term enjoyment of it. The association earned just over $2.4 million in interest for the year. Closed with very, reasonably low levels of delinquency, just around 25%. Delinquency and bad debt being those non-paying intervals that becomes a burden to the rest of the association. It is a relatively low number compared to some other that we've seen in the portfolio in the industry. So the ownership appears to be very engaged and enjoying their vacation experiences here. There were a few overages for the year in the area of the housekeeping, maintenance, as the team just kind of ramps up efforts to improve your vacation experiences. And looking into 2026, you all just about 80 days ago got your 2026 billings, which we again apologize for the delay. You would have seen those maintenance fees increase just a little bit under $50, so it went from $950 to $999.65, still below $1,000, which in the Las Vegas market is a very good, reasonable rate. What did drive that roughly 5% increase were the things that Todd and Justin kind of outlined, just enhanced levels of service delivery to the ownership base in the area of quality assurance, housekeeping, and just long-term preventative maintenance of your resort. So all in all, the association sits in a very good position financially, and just about 80 days after billing, we've seen about 50% collection on the 2026 billing. So again, we are optimistic that we'll finish strong again in 2026.
Thank you, Clyde. Now we'll go ahead and turn it over to to Michelle Duchamp, Head of Partner Services.
Hi, thanks, Keith. Good morning, everyone. As Keith mentioned, my name is Michelle Duchamp. I'm Head of Partner Services with Vacatia. I've actually been very familiar with the Vacation Villages properties for years because I worked a lot on the exchange side of the business for the majority of my career, and then have been with Vacatia for about 6 years. We had a lot that went on during 2025. Keith mentioned earlier we put new systems in place. A lot of those things were put in place so that we could ultimately create efficiencies for the staff, the team, and ultimately the owners. So one of the things I wanted to spend a few minutes on, first by a show of hands, if I said, have you been to Vacatia Clubhouse, how many people know what I mean and have been there? Okay, not as many as I would like to see, which is why we're going to actually show a little video. Vacatia Clubhouse is one of the things that we try to navigate is the fact that every owner wants to be communicated with differently. Some owners want to be able to self-serve, some people still want to be able to call, some people want emails, some people still want the paper mail. So being able to manage that to where we're communicating with you the way you want and giving you the tools that you need to help serve your ownership is what we're trying to do through Clubhouse. So for those that do want to be able to self-service on things like telling us what you're planning to do with each of your weeks each year, paying your maintenance fees online, just seeing the status of the weeks that you own and your ownership online, finding important documents about your ownership and the resort and the budget and the audits and seeing all useful information about the ownership you have and having that at your fingertips. And most importantly, having one place that you can go to so you can see how you can contact us when you do have a question or need help with something. So we're going to show a little video that's talking about Vacatia Clubhouse. This is your owner portal that you have the ability to go to. It doesn't take away your ability to call us and talk to us, go to the front desk, all of those. It's just another added enhancement to help you better manage your ownership for those who want some additional self-service options.
As a vacation owner, your time is valuable, and we want to make sure that managing your ownership is as easy and convenient as possible. That's why late last year we introduced you to the Vacation Clubhouse, your personal hub for everything related to your ownership, and it's available to you anytime, anywhere. Let's take a look at the self-service options that you have available in your Clubhouse account. So when you log in, you're greeted by a clear overview of your account. You see here that our example owner has accounts at both Cliffs at Peace Canyon and Grandview, Las Vegas. So here you see cards for each of your ownerships. If you own multiple, you can click into that and see ownerships. But before we dive deeper into that, I want to show you a couple other things. So we post all of the most recent news here, so you don't have to click into different tabs, and it's available right when you log in. You also have these owner insider rates where you can save up to 50% on your rentals just for being an owner with us. And then you have your payment section. So going into your ownerships, you see that it is segmented by week, and because they own 2 weeks, you see the 2 different weeks here. If this was an RCI points owner, you would see that it was submitted to RCI points, and also if this owner had told us that they were using their week, you would be able to see that clearly. So whatever you let the resort know that you're doing with your week, you see that clearly, with the option to change it if your plans change. So when you click on Use My Week, you have your different options. So since this is a 2-bedroom owner, you have the flexibility of being able to submit different choices for how you use your week with each component of your lock-off. So I could use half of it and give the other half to a guest. And you see your other options down here. And clicking into these Learn More just tell you a little bit more about the different options. But you simply select your option and submit, and it's easy as that. Next, you have your payment section. So you have our contact information if there is something that doesn't make sense here. Since this is an example account, you're not seeing all of the features. There's one feature that is missing that is huge for you guys. If you had been billed, you are able to download your statement directly from here. It will just be another line right here. But you also have your payment history of anything you've done in the past, any pending payments. So if you made a mistake and paid with the wrong card, you can change that here. And then you also have that button to download your statement. We have recently introduced this new option to set up an auto pay, where every year it will draft the amount that is due for your maintenance fee on a due date, and then you have your make a payment section, which we'll look a little deeper into. So you do have the option to pay with either a bank account or a credit card here, and you see that this amount is zero because nothing is owed, but this is something where you can pay partial, or if there's not a payment due, you can pay a year ahead so that you can submit it and deposit with one of your exchange companies like RCI or IFI. Next, we have this new section. So any new features or anything coming out that you need to know, we will expose here. And if you own at multiple properties, you have this little toggle option to go to the resort that you want to know about. Also, we have a resources section where we keep things like your governing documents, financials, meeting minutes, rental agreements, all of the things that you might need will be housed in this section. And again, if you're an owner of multiple resorts, you have the toggle option so that you can go to the different properties. In addition to that, you have a section here called Account. So if I wanted to update my email address, phone number, or address to make sure that I'm getting all of my communications, bills, emails letting us know about new stuff, you can update that here yourself. And then finally, you have this Help section where if something is not available in the clubhouse and you need help with something, you can submit a request to our support team easily here, and it routes to that team to get your issue resolved. So we have designed this with our owners in mind. We want to keep things seamless, transparent, and flexible for you. If you haven't logged in recently, we encourage you to explore everything that Clubhouse has to offer, and we are consistently working behind the scenes to offer new enhancements for you. Welcome home to Vacation.
So the first thing we're going to do is cut down on her caffeine intake because she talked really, really fast. So we wanted to cover a lot of information there. We are going to post this video clip in Clubhouse so that those who want to go back and listen to it again and see how to navigate it, that it'll be there as a tool for you. Again, it's meant to just provide you another tool. You saw there was the information form, there was the phone number, things like that. This is also going to be the vehicle that we're going to use to try to most readily push out communications to owners. We recognize we did not do a good job at communicating with our owners during 2025. We understand that and we apologize for it, and we are going to do better in 2026. 2025 was a learning year, was a getting everybody on the same systems year, and we missed an opportunity to keep owners updated through that process. We recognize that you're going to see a lot more communication that's going to be coming out during 2026, and hopefully telling you about new exciting stuff along the way that you can take advantage of as owners. So with that, Keith, do you want me to just open it up for questions? You want me to just open up for? Yeah. So.
Go ahead and open the question and answer.